book can take you anywhere. Turn the pages and you'll be there. Come on, join us, you'll see. We're reading with Carylee.
Hi, friends, and welcome to another Read with Carylee. I'm so glad to have you here because you know what? It's looking a lot like Christmas here with Read with Carylee, and I have an amazing book by another amazing author, Mr. Ed Damiano. I hope I pronounced that right.
Yes, you did.
Yes, thank you so much. Mr. Damiano, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, you have written a wonderful book for us, but before we get into that, you know, we have authors from all over the world, and I know it's the Christmas season. So could you let us know where you're reading to us from? And don't tell me the North Pole.
No, no, Springfield, New Jersey. I'm reading to you from today.
Awesome. Thank you for being here with us. And like I said, you have a great book today. And since we are in the Christmas spirit, you will be reading for us The Christmas Blanket.
Yes, I will.
Yes. So I am not going to go on any further. I'm going to turn it over to you for you to read for us Christmas Blanket.
Thank you.
Take it away.
Christmas time was here. EJ woke up, looked outside the window. Today's the day, he said excitedly. EJ ran into his parents' room where his mother and father were still sleeping. EJ said, "Wake up, Mom and Dad. Today's the day." "Today's what day?" Dad said sleepily. "They're lighting the tree at Rockefeller Center today," Mom said. I told EJ I would take him. All through breakfast, EJ was a bundle of energy. Mom had to tell him to eat his cereal. "Is it true that the tree at Rockefeller Center is the biggest, most magical tree in the whole world?" EJ asked. "Yes, that's right," Mom said. "When I was little, my parents used to tell me that it could make wishes come true." "Wow," EJ said. He wondered what he would wish for. "That reminds me," said Dad, "we haven't gotten our tree yet. I'll pick one out today after work." Mom kissed Dad goodbye, and then she and EJ took the ferry across the Hudson to New York City. EJ could feel the frosty December nip on the tip of his nose. "Well, look who it is," a voice said from behind EJ. EJ turned and saw Tommy Turner, a mean kid from class. He was also taking the ferry. "Hi, Tommy," EJ said. "Is your dad taking you to see the Rockefeller tree?" "Are you kidding?" said Tommy. "My dad's going to the store and buy me presents. Getting presents is what Christmas is all about." "I thought Christmas was about more than that," EJ said. "Nope," said Tommy. "Christmas is just about presents. Anyone who thinks otherwise is dumb." As Mom and EJ left the ferry, EJ had a frown on his face. During the subway ride, EJ thought about Christmas wish. He thought about the things he would like to receive, including fire trucks, baseball gloves, and basketballs. Is this really what Christmas is all about, he wondered. Mom noticed the sour look on EJ's face. "What's wrong, honey?" Mommy said. "Mom, what is Christmas really about?" EJ replied. Mom just laughed. The tree lighting wasn't until 7 o'clock, so Mom and EJ took a walk around the block. Mom showed EJ all the decorated windows. EJ looked around at the busy street in wonder. EJ noticed an old man sitting on the corner with a sign. The old man was hugging himself with his arms while his teeth were chattering. "What's wrong with him?" EJ asked. "He's probably cold," Mom said. She put some money in the man's glass, and then she and EJ walked on. At Rockefeller Center, there was a big crowd. Mom picked up EJ so he could see the tree better. When the tree turned on, everyone oohed and awed. EJ looked at Mom. "I've thought of my Christmas wish," he said. Mom looked at EJ in surprise. "What is it?" she asked. EJ closed his eyes and folded his hands. "Please help that homeless man be warm and bring him a blanket for Christmas." Mom smiled. "EJ, I'm proud of you," she said. "Let's go grant your Christmas wish." After buying the blanket, EJ and Mom went to look for the old man. He was still sitting outside the bakery where he could feel the warm heat each time a customer walked in or out. EJ handed the old man the blanket. "This is for you," he said. The old man was surprised. "Why, thank you," he replied. "What a thoughtful young man you are. At least one little boy knows the true meaning of Christmas." EJ was confused. "What's the true meaning of Christmas?" he asked. "I thought it was about getting presents." "Not at all," said the old man. "Christmas is about caring for your fellow man. Instead of buying me a blanket, you could have spent your money on toys, but you showed selfless love. Without selfless love, Christmas would never have existed." EJ gave the man a big smile. He said with a warm feeling, he had a warm feeling all over. "I never thought of that," he said, "but I'm going to remember it." The end.
Just as in the story, The Christmas Blanket, unfortunately, there are thousands of people who live on the street. They may not have shelter or even a blanket to go through the harsh cold of the winter. But you too can help. It may not be a brand new blanket, but you can donate gently used blankets to shelters and churches and even fire stations who collect for the homeless population, to be able to give them a bright and warm spot even for this Christmas season. So please consider helping your parents to donate a Christmas blanket to a local shelter this year. We will.
Okay, I'm going to try not to cry. Because of course this is about Christmas and this is about the warmth of Christmas. And I just loved that story because it really teaches our friends about the true meaning of Christmas.
Yes, it does.
And
Thank you.
it definitely brought back some nostalgia for me because as a young girl growing up in New York City, I know about the Rockefeller tree. And I also always watch the Rockefeller tree lighting
Yes.
on TV, especially since I'm now in Northern Virginia. Yes. So thank you for that walk down memory lane. So,
You're welcome.
so what did it mean for you to write this book? Why did you choose to write The Christmas Blanket?
Well, we've traveled into New York almost every season to see the Christmas tree lighting. And Christmas is a special part of our lives. It's when our family gets together. And it just dawned on me when I decided to write a children's book that the theme came into my mind. And I felt that it was something that I would like to leave as a legacy to my grandchildren, to know what Christmas is all about, not just about getting presents. And that's where this whole story did not happen in reality, but it's something that I felt, maybe it was the time. I actually wrote this in 2017 and just sat on it for like 3 or 4 years until I decided, let me try to get it published. And I just like the story, and Rockefeller Center, and being a New Yorker, even though you live in Jersey, if you're close to New York, you're a New Yorker.
Yeah.
It's a special place, and the tree is special to people in this area as well as hopefully throughout the whole country. And I do think it's a magical tree.
Yes, absolutely. It is a magical tree to me, especially. And, I've heard so many stories about the different tree lightings. And even last year about the owl that took a trip from where it was actually cut down to where.
Yes, it was in the tree. It was in the tree. It was a great story. It'd be a great children's book. So somebody might actually write it.
Maybe you may be the next one to write that
See, this
story.
is where this is where they come from. They
Yes,
just happen, it happens in the universe.
yes, absolutely. So when you were younger, were there any books that inspired you, or, you know, were there any things, around you that inspired you to become a writer?
There were no books. I mean, I had all the basic books, the little train that could, and so on and so forth. But no, my mom was actually the one that inspired me the most. She was an artist. She drew caricatures, and she always instilled in me the artistic values. So, I do things like photography, and took up art, and at school, and painted, and so this is sort of just another way of expressing, I guess, my artistic abilities. She was really the one that instilled it in me.
Well, that is definitely, an inspiration, for me, for even doing this show and even becoming an author myself. My mother wasn't the inspiration, but she was definitely a driving force. And yeah, she wanted me to be a writer, and I told her no. Years later, here I am, and here I am speaking with authors like you that bring so much inspiration and joy to children everywhere.
Yeah.
So, are there any other books in the works, or do you have any other books
I
that
have another book that's been
with us?
published. Yes.
Okay.
It's called The Red Fence, and it's a very interesting book. Again, my inspiration there was basically putting up a fence where my daughter lived prior to living in Springfield, and the neighbors all got up in arms because it wasn't a neighborhood of fences. So I wrote a book about the Red Fence, which is a couple that moves into a neighborhood. They're called the Bean family, and they move into this neighborhood where the Vanderloos live, and they paint their fence red, and everybody is up in arms because all the fences in town are white. And no matter how hard the townspeople try to paint the fence white, it always remained red. And without going into the whole story, at the end of the book, the town has a red fence, a green fence, an orange fence, a purple fence.
Oh,
So it becomes totally inclusive. And that's
that
when
sounds
my
like an
book is published
amazing
out right
book.
now. It is.
Yes.
And I have two
And
more books in the works.
okay. Well, we may just have to have you come back here and share with
I
us.
would love to share the red fence, and and then I have my friend Philomena, and then I also have one about a handicapped boy that wants to be an NFL football player.
Oh, and those are the books that we love, to show the diversity of children and, of neighborhoods, going from one red fence to a multicolored fence.
Fence, exactly.
Yes, that is exactly what we need, and that's exactly what we welcome here at Read with Carylee. And I am so glad to have had you come on and read Christmas Blanket. It definitely warms my heart.
Thank you, Carylee. It was my pleasure, and I really enjoyed speaking with you.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you, Mr. Ed Damiano, for coming on and reading with us today. And thank you, friends, for joining us for another Read with Carylee. Make sure you look at the link below so that you can find Mr. Damiano's books. And I hope it fills your heart with warmth and joy this holiday season. Again, thank you, and we will see you next week for another amazing Read with Carylee. Remember to grab a book and read. Have a great day. Thanks for watching another amazing episode of the Read with Carylee Show. We have amazing authors coming by every week. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below. You don't want to miss a thing.